one of the things we were going to talk about is the opportunities in social, and particularly I'm interested in hearing about the opportunities for women in metaverse and in Web3 socials. Is there a place for Web2 professionals in Web3?
Yes, I mean, definitely. Like, I believe that Web 2 is the gateway to Web 3. So if you're in Web 2, you're that much ahead of, there's not a real expert right now. It's, and it can be super intimidating. I kind of was able to create space for Web 3 and the metaverse about a year ago when I decided to take a step back from my full service agency, because I felt like a couple things, like I would rather serve one to many versus one to one, because I was so kind of forward thinking. And I also had this little brand called Female Disruptors that I wanted to see what I could do to take to the next level. Little did I know, Female Disruptors started out as this online publication where I just used it to spotlight females disrupting in their space. What I found out, around that time was that women versus men, my men clients who were mostly tech, it was a lot easier for me to get them media coverage versus women that had, let's say, a better story or the same story. So that prompted me to say, what can I do with Female Disruptors to take it to the next level? Alongside Web3 and the metaverse was also kind of like happening about a year ago. So it made me realize and really take a step back and say, okay, there's this Web2 opportunity, which we've been in, all genders for Web 2 to Web 3, there's an amazing opportunity. And there's an even more amazing opportunity for women to really stake a claim in this new gen of the internet, this new opportunity that is creating, a decentralized opportunity where everything has been controlled by tech. And, the reality is, like, big tech has been male dominated. And the whole idea of Web3 is to not be so reliant on big tech and to really take things into our own hands. So females, women-led projects, and women in Web3 and the metaverse just have this incredible opportunity. But there is an education and almost like self-taught type of, you have to kind of figure it out yourself, because there's not a guidebook. We don't know, my first email account was with AOL. Like, I don't use my AOL account, and I haven't, just like MySpace was before Facebook, and now MySpace isn't what it is today. But just to kind of the first step I would recommend for anyone that's in Web 2 listening to this is just start exploring, start looking. Twitter is a great place to learn, and LinkedIn, and making sure that you're following people like Kathy Hackle, who has taken, if there's anyone that you can say is an expert in Web3, it's somebody that has really a proven track record in not just Web 2, but also AR, VR, mixed reality. And they've followed along this technology, because all of these technologies are all an accumulation of what is coming into the creating these metaverse virtual worlds and the metaverse opportunity and the Web3 opportunity. So I say just, definitely stay proficient in Web 2. It's critical. So it's not, the answer isn't, oh, we're going to walk away from Web 2 and go to Web 3, but realizing the weaknesses. And I think that that's something that is hard to, deny, that what has come of, for example, Facebook is not the opportunity that it was from an organic standpoint for businesses and brands, and advertising has become a little more difficult and challenging on social media. So realizing, okay, like where does it make sense that I could give my audience an experience in a Web3 type of environment that would be just experimental? And I'll just use myself as an example, how I started just trying to figure things out on my own, which is just like I did for Web 2, is like 2 or 3 years ago, is right after I got my my yoga certification. Somebody was doing a calling for yoga instructors to teach yoga in virtual reality. So I was like, okay, I just got my yoga certification. I just forced myself to do it. Like, nobody was paying me to do it. It wasn't part of like my PR services or anything. I just took an interest that I had on my own, yoga, and said, let me just throw myself into this and figure out like how to build my avatar and how to like teach somebody yoga in like this, virtual world. So to figure out what does that look like for you, like what are you interested in, and take your personal interest. Maybe it's pets, maybe it's maybe it's cars, whatever it is, like there's some sort of a vertical that you could just experiment and build an avatar for yourself and join a virtual world. I mean, Facebook Meta makes it super easy to do now. They have Horizon Worlds where you can explore and just, get a headset, and that's like the easiest way to enter a metaverse-like environment. So if you have a Facebook group, you can, go live from Horizon Worlds into your Facebook group, from your avatar. So that's just a really simple way that you could say, like, look, I'm experimenting in Web3 and I'm not really learning that, I don't really, it's not that difficult.